tweeted after that game. However, Wichita State's Kenyon Giles says there is no concern on their bench about how tired Tulsa might be. Giles said it's March, and if they're exhausted, they're not ready to play in this month.
Thank you, Marilyn. Everyone wishes they could be as exhausted as the Golden Hurricane. They split the season series in the regular season. Both come in winners of 6 straight games, both exceeding preseason expectations. Right off the bat, it only took him a few seconds. Kenyon Giles off the mark with his first shot. It's Wichita State, the #2 seed in the white unis. And now Tylen Riley, who had a big game in the quarterfinals and also had 30 points earlier this year against these Shockers. Here's David Green, first team all-conference, 23 in blue. Takes it to the rim, comes up empty, but Barron gets the offensive putback. And Tyler Barron with the first 2 of this semifinal.
Tyler Barron.
Kenyon Giles, the engine that runs this Wichita State offense.
Kenyon Giles is the kind of guy who gives it up early, but often looks to get it back, and that's kind of how they initiate their offense.
But it's Karan Boyd who opens the scoring for the Shockers.
Just watch how the defense shapes Giles at all moments of the game.
David Green for 3, too strong. And the rebound to Popola, but it's blocked. Here's Boyd in transition. Michael Gray Jr., number 9 in white. Left open, Boyd, not this time. And Barron has the second rebound for himself.
If you're Tulsa, there are times you're going to want to put a little pace, not just on the game, but in a possession. But you've got to make sure, this is the stuff, you've got to make sure you're playing a game that you can win. Find the game, feel it out. No need to rush too much. That's a great possession, also able to get your defense set. I know coming off of a long game like that last night, the first few minutes are tough. You've got to fight through it, fight through to get to the under 16, and then the game is established.
It's great controlling. They like having Kenyon Giles off the ball as much as possible. Here he is, pulls up, short on that 3.
He's a volume guy, but he still has to be a little bit more calculated. I like setting up the defense by breaking it down off the bounce. Get inside the paint. Watch how the defense rotates when you get there. You might be able to live at the free throw line if they don't overcommit to the basketball. And as you soften up the defense, it's going to open up 3-point opportunities or mid-range game opportunities.
Here's Green. Now Barron. Rebound is ripped away by Dylan Battie, who's really come on strong for the Shockers. First 3 of the game for Kenyon Giles. He knows no limits.
It's incredible. I mean, less than 3 minutes into the game, he's got 3 3-point shot attempts. One of them goes in.
Riley throws it up, no whistle. And a foul on the floor.
I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, if he's going to take these tough shots, in a way you have to live with him. That's deep.
And it looks so easy.
Yeah, I mean, he just walks right into it. But you're so worried about him setting you up to attack and then step back. These guys watch tape. They understand the tendencies of great players. So they're waiting for the setup, and he just walks into a 3.
Here's Green. Played in 51 minutes of that triple overtime thriller yesterday.
I also think Wichita State has the opportunity to be physical early and just test the fatigue of Tulsa after that 3 overtime game last night.
Tough 2 from Giles. And Barron is making a name for himself in the opening minutes of this game.
I think you're going to say tough 2 from Giles a lot today. That's just what he does.
Riley, little push shot. First 2 of the game for Tylen Riley.
Good probe, good poise, good sit down, easy finish.
He had 26 and went 17 for 17 from the free throw line in yesterday's quarterfinal win. Stolen away by Barnstable. Bounce pass, Green, surrounded by Shockers. Now Green left alone on the wing. In and out, another rebound for Barron, and he gets fouled.
The effort from Barron early. just utilizing his side, fighting for position, and just keeping possessions alive. And look, you're going to have a fight. This is just one of those that he initiates the contact and gave him a little bit of position and the foul on the backside. You have to fight, and you have to trust your coach is going to use rotations to keep you as fresh as possible.
You can expect that, especially today, from Eric Kunkel, who you just saw 3 starters go to the bench.
Another hot coach out there. Coach Kunkel has done a great job this year.
Riley for 3, back-to-back buckets for Tylan Riley.
I think one of the things you got to point out, 6 guys shooting 36% or more from 3 it's a combination of volume and makes.
This Tulsa team is hot. They've won 6 in a row and healthy. 9 players have played all 31 games, including their starters who have started all 31. There's Michael Gray Jr. with his first 2.
Yeah, and Berg down low did a good job of sealing and just protecting that area. Will Berg can do that. If he holds his position, it's going to open up a driving lane with really no shot blocker in place.
Miles Rigsby in the game, 4 in blue. Checked by Giles. Now it's Schmeichel handing off. That 3 way off the mark. And the shot clock runs out. It didn't touch the rim. We'll take our first time out of this semifinal. 3 is the key.
Yeah, good flow to start. Giles took a couple tough ones early. I don't know if that's an easy one, but it made it look easy. And then Riley, so many worries about him getting in the paint that he gets open from 3.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for you. 3 years in Wichita State history. Before that, spent 6 years at Oral Roberts, took them to a Sweet 16 in 2021. And he has stressed offensive rebounding, and his team has responded this year, John.
He's a really good coach. He's done a great job with his team. And sometimes the best job you can do as a coach is let your best player take over. And he's done that with Kenyon Giles. And I think it lifts the potential of everybody else on the floor.
This is their first 20-win season in 6 years for the Shockers. There's Will Berg getting in the scoring column for the first time. American Conference 6th man of the year. 4th in the conference in rebounds, 6th in block shots. Barnstable, catch and release. Off the mark, he had that huge 3 in triple overtime to help seal that Tulsa win.
And not until that, he really struggled shooting the basketball. Not going to say he played poorly. No one really did.
Here's TJ Williams, a Wichita native, playing for his hometown school, and TJ Williams has a chance at a 3-point play.
I just think there's some bodies for Wichita State. A, they're fresh. B, they're absolute beast. When you have to deal with that in the half court, just pushing physicality down low, that's what wears you down the most. You can run up and down the floor, you can change sides, everything's all right. But when you've got a battle, full body pushing, that's what wears you out the most. See if Wichita State can do that to wear down Tulsa even further. But Lawal in the game, he was really good yesterday. One of the toughest guys on the floor for Tulsa. And I think without them, they don't win that game.
Here he is with the ball, number 2 in blue. And he turned it over. Williams working into the paint. Tried to thread the needle to the big man Berg. It goes out of bounds. Tulsa basketball.
There's really just no angle to make that pass. And I do think there are times where Kenyon Giles has to watch guys like Steph Curry and then find the combination of Steph Curry and Reggie Miller and move a little bit more off the ball. Don't just float way out beyond the perimeter.
Here's Rigsby. And Schmeichel up against the 7-footer, comes up empty. But Wichita State will give up possession again. Eric Kunkel in his 4th season as the Tulsa head coach, one of 25 head coaches nominated for the Skip Prosser Man of the Year award. Ironically enough, Paul Mills is one of those 25 as well. They are awarded for winning with integrity on and off the court. 2 fine gentlemen and great head coaches in their own rights.
interestingly enough, the integrity helps you win, especially in 1-2-year teams. Kind of building a culture and an identity. You've got to be able to connect with guys if you want to coach at this level today.
Look at Berg muscling his way to the hole. And Williams follows it up.
It's going to be a physical battle, and it should be. If you're Wichita State, that's how you should dominate this basketball game early, with physicality.
Early on, largest lead of the game for the second-seeded Shockers. Here's Lawal, sweet little two-point J from Jalen Lawal, his first two.
Well, he's really good when he can turn the corner and keep a defender on his back. He feels that. He's a physical guy, great strong base. He can be highly effective just getting into the paint.
Giles, tough two. Berg, two-hand rebounding. Giles, tough two. Berg, two-hand rebound and got fouled for his efforts. Maryland, we talked about a physical contest. What you got?
Paul Mills' message at the first time out was simple. He looked at Will Berg in particular and said, they're beating us on the second chance points. We absolutely cannot have that.
Well, right now it's Tulsa 5-4 in second chance points, and Paul Mills isn't used to that. He's one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the nation. Gray, pocket pass, Berg.
How about that?
How about a push shot from the elbow?
That's really pretty. A short roll from Will Berg and good touch on the shot. That's an added option in the offense.
Off the window, now Berg clears with the defensive rebound. First 7-footer in 6 years to play for the Shockers.
They've always had some good bigs. That's going the other way. They've had good bigs, but not that dominant size. They've had physical, tough guys. This is a big-time move, though. The ball screen, and you just hold your screen, and instead of rolling into the defender, short roll, pull up, that's a big-time shot. I mean, that's a pro-level move right there. I mean, we're getting to the point where we're learning how to play with ball screens at this level, and that means not just run a ball screen, it means understand and execute all the different options and counters within the ball screen. And whatever the defense does is you got to make the right read. The read there with short roll, someone's occupying the block and finish early.
Here's Green. Oh, leaned right into TJ Williams, and Williams hit the deck, but no whistle, and Green pays it off.
Yeah, we have cleaned up the block charge, but there are still charges on ball handlers, and I think we've let a lot go. It's got to be physical. Hey, buckle up. Like, if you're Wichita State, you got to be able to handle it. Oh, my favorite call in basketball.
Play angry was their mantra back then, and this is almost like play angry 2.0.
It's like play angry-ish, right? It's like still stay focused. I don't think you build teams the same way anymore. And I know Paul Mills, you get a team together, and it's like, all right, how do I put together the culture, the identity that I want for this program, but also maintain the ability to adjust to personnel? And obviously, some of that personnel you adjust to is Kenyon Giles.
Maryland, you have more.
Yeah, I asked Kenyon Giles earlier today about his perspective on a team that played in 2013, and he was so young, but he said, I know what it means to be a Wichita State Shocker, and March is just better. College basketball is better with us in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it was Antoine Carr who spoke to that team with Fred VanVleet and said, you guys have to play angry. And they adopted it. The whole community of Wichita adopted it, and they had an unprecedented run there in the 2010s.
I just think it speaks to what basketball was, where you could build programs, not just teams. Right now, you're just maximizing the potential of what you've got.
5 on the clock. David Green beats the buzzer.
That's what this Tulsa team does. They space you out, they hit shots, and they can stay in games with their three-point shooting. They're going to have to make some shots because it's going to allow them to get back, get set, communicate early in possessions defensively.
Here's Giles. Doesn't need a lot of time or airspace, but now he's 1 for 6 from the field. Popola 42% three-point shooter. Off the mark, and Giles threw it away. Tried to lob it up for the 7-footer Will Berg, who wasn't waiting for it. Now Popola misses again. Halfway through the first half of this semifinal, the winner faces USF. And the follow, there's an offensive rebound and a putback. That's the bread and butter for the Shockers.
Well, you got to know that you're the guy going to the glass because of all the help that shades towards Kenyon Giles. So if 2 to 3 are going to be involved in defending him and a tough shot goes up, you've got to be the one to get on the glass.
TJ Williams, 7 points in 6 minutes so far. The redshirt freshman showing out early here in Birmingham. Barron had the space, but came up empty. And that's what Wichita's coaching staff was telling us earlier, how they're going to defend Tulsa.
I think you got to sag a little bit and trust the size you have down low with Will Berg. Question is, can you get Giles going? Or is it just up to him?
Well, here's a mismatch. Giles working on the bigger David Green.
Why you bring a ball screen?
Where's the blow by? 5 on the clock. Giles, soft touch off the window, and it rolls off to the left.
I just wouldn't bring help. I'd space.
Popola catch and release. Got it. Ade Popola played 51 minutes yesterday. He's got his first 3 today.
Unbelievable. Those guys, man, struggling with cramps late. I mean, and they're just fighting through. You can't say enough about the effort that they had to put forth last night to get to this round. Now you got a new challenge.
Second tie of the afternoon between these two teams. Both winners of 6 in a row coming in. Popola thought about it again. And Williams going to be called for the foul, his first.
And Riley's tough. He does a lot of really good things. I mean, moving the ball up the floor, cross-court pass to Popola. You talk about the 51 minutes in a game. Doesn't seem too bothered by it. I don't feel like he was bothered by it last night. He was one of the few that seemed okay with it, whatever that means.
Tylan Riley scoreless in the first half yesterday and ended up one of the heroes. 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 dimes against North Texas. Barnstable. KJ Martin, nice touch, too strong. Here's backup point guard Drake Kindle. And Battie got fouled on the floor, and that brings up another media timeout. 7:46 to go. A back-and-forth contest tied at 19 in the American Semi. In their game, 13 #1 seeds have already lost in their conference tournaments. That's why Selection Sunday is going to be so magical. It all starts at 6 Eastern with SportsCenter on ESPN. Reese and the guys looking at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced. Bracketology follows that, and at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed with a complete breakdown of each match at 9 Eastern.
I think the best thing about the brackets is it's not that you know anything, it's that you know absolutely nothing. People always come to us as analysts and think, help me build my bracket. And I always tell them, we make too much sense to make sense in the NCAA tournament. Just predict the unpredictable. That's kind of the way it goes.
Yeah.
You know, people ask, you know, which one of these teams could win games in the NCAA tournament? It's like any and all of them. It's the way it is.
2 free throws for Dylan Battie give the Shockers a 2-point lead. They're looking for their first NCAA tournament bid since 2021. Off the mark, Michael picks it up and puts it down.
That starts with Riley, though. Again, just remember what I'm saying. Just get by the initial defender. Keep your defender on the back in a ball screen situation and just watch how the defense opens up.
3 ties, 5 lead changes in the opening 13 minutes of this one. Here's Battie. Now 8 on the timer. Giles.
Good.
Unconscious.
Well, I mean, he's 2 of 9, 2 of 5 from 3, and he takes that and it goes. Talk about the green light for South Florida. There's a different kind of green light for Kenyon Giles.
What I meant to say was no conscience. 6 for Giles, averaging close to 20 a game in American Conference play. Riley, he matches him with another 3. Tylen Riley has 8.
And that's really all set up by Schmeichel. It's just good effort, good energy down low. Didn't play a ton of minutes last night, so he should be as fresh as anybody.
And now a whistle off the ball.
How about the Kenyon Giles 3, though? I mean, granted, clock's running down. You got to get something up. You could dribble into a worse shot, I guess. There's not much more you could do if you're Riley other than come back down on the other side of the floor and hit an open one. Good answer. You have to know, if you're Tulsa, do not get frustrated by tough shot making. You learn that as a pro. Good offensive players are going to make a lot of tough shots. You just have to play good defense. Sometimes that means they're going to make it.
Now Lawal draws the Kenyon Giles assignment. He's a little bit late. Giles makes him pay.
That's all I'm going to say. That's my analysis for that one. That's 2 in a row, and that's uh-oh. I think you understand my meaning.
Heat check time,
yes,
for number 1 in white. He has 8. Here's a steal by the Shocks. And a foul on Barnstable.
Barnstable's just got to be stronger with the basketball. You're waiting to get your offense set. Sometimes that's the most dangerous job right there. You're trying to get guys moving. You lose sight of your defender. And Wichita State's going to be aggressive on the basketball, particularly on Barnstable.
So Brian Amunique steps to the line. He only plays about 8 minutes a game, but got a steal and now has 2 free throws for his efforts. Misses the first, though. And Amunique, a sophomore out of Los Angeles by way of Fresno State.
I think the biggest concern for Tulsa, it's not even the steal and the free throws. It's that Kenyon Giles just made his last 2 shots. He'll seek it out differently.
And 2 missed free throws. Here's Barron after the save by Lawal. And now Eric Kunkel from on the edge of the coach's box, barking out his orders on offense.
That's a good call by Todd Austin because he let it go a little bit early. And I like that. Adjust to the physicality, that's fine. But you tell guys, hey, hands, hands. A lot of times officials will just say hands, hands, get your hands off. And if you continue with the hands, you make the call.
A 12-win improvement this year from last year for Eric Kunkel and his crew. That's the 6th largest increase in wins in Division I basketball. And one of the reasons his name's being mentioned to move elsewhere.
I also think in the game today, there's another one from Pola. I think in the game today, if you can show you can win in 1 year, you're a hot coach. Because you're dealing with one-year teams. That's just the reality. Here it comes.
Don't give him that room. He's going to make you pay. 11 for Kenyon Giles.
Oh, you got Green getting ready to check in the game for Tulsa, and he's just sitting there shaking his head. That's all you can do. You can't even get mad at your teammates as if they didn't do their job. He's just that good. And he got the long 3.
Semifinal. Kenyon Giles is only 5'10", but when he starts scoring, it's like an avalanche.
5'10" sounds like program height. But he is so dangerous with his ability to get jump shots off. If you're a good jump shot shooter, you're a good one-on-one player. And he's probably the best in this field.
Now some pressure, full court. Karan Boyd and company. Shockers looking to stake a bigger lead. They're up by 5 right now.
I think you also just want to wear down this Tulsa team coming off the 3 overtimes they played last night.
Capola off the window, too strong. Here's Gray. And he led Will Berg a little too far, even for the 7-footer.
His right idea, just lob it up. Let him go get it. too much heat on that pass. I think there are different ways you can wear a team down. There's kind of the physical defense, full court, but there's also just the emotional toll it takes when you have to think and you have to worry about the pressure, particularly after the steal they just got at half court.
Well, how do you think Tulsa looked so far in the first 15 minutes?
Totally fine. Surprised he didn't get that call.
And no whistle, the rebound to Bird.
I mean, this is the way they play. If they've been good getting on the offensive glass, usually that's where you would see it. Lack of effort, energy, they have it.
Giles, not that time. 6th rebound for Will Bird. And the pull-up from Gray off the window. Nice touch.
Great find for Will Bird, too. He went straight up for that offensive rebound. High-pointed it and immediately looked opposite.
Riley in the paint and will go to the line. And we have another timeout to take. 3:53 to go. Has been doing so far.
Yeah, he's special, and when you're allowed to take any shot on the floor, you're dangerous. And when you can make any shot on the floor, you're even more dangerous. I think the mid-range game is what sets most of what he does up. He is such a tough cover off the bounce. Now, what I want to see from him is better work off the ball. If he works off the ball, it's going to open up opportunities for everybody else. He has what everybody wants to have on the basketball floor, and that's gravity. Anywhere he goes, multiple people follow, like just small moves.
Riley hits the first. It was only a couple of minutes ago when we were looking and like, Kenyon Giles is off. He's 1 for 8. And all of a sudden, he's 3 for 7 from 3.
He is literally the old T-shirt. When you're on, shoot. When you're off, shoot until you're on.
The old T-shirt?
Yeah, it was like and one back in the day. They had T-shirts with sayings on it, and some of us really liked that one. There you go. Start using them in the offense. Make them work. The more Giles moves and works, the easier the game is going to get for anybody else.
Here's Gray. Spins and hits.
That's nice. Why? He had a whole side of the floor to work with. No one's leaving Giles. And if you have decent one-on-one players that can make a 10-foot shot, you will get open looks because Giles' guy is not leaving him 4-on-4 in a whole half court. The advantage offense.
This matches Wichita State's largest lead of the game. Riley slipped. And they call a traveling violation on Tylan Riley.
A little old school flex. And then break it off and make a play. This was just flex offense into a ball screen, and Riley has been trying to get his guy on his back. Boyd's physical, he's strong. Shoot, they all are.
Williams working on Rigsby, 4-on-4. And the left-hander, TJ Williams has 9.
It's tough. I mean, when you drive at Giles, it's just going to be you and the man covering you. No one's leaving Giles, so it's just a physical finish.
Now Giles working hard on defense. Barron off the window, right in the face of Will Bird. Good first half for Tyler Barron. 6 points, 5 boards for the former Navy midshipman. Giles was looking for contact and got none.
Just looking for a shot.
Popola. Off hands, out of bounds, Shockers basketball.
It's hard to find that balance, probably as a coach. I've never been. I bet I wasn't the easiest to coach, but it's hard to find the balance when a guy has it to say, take good ones, right? Because he makes a lot of tough shots. And he makes a lot of plays by taking tough shots because defense just flocks to the basketball when he's got it. But there are times where it's like, it's okay if you don't have it. As a decoy, you open up the paint. Be patient, and when you get the ball, attack. The more he dribbles, the harder it is to score.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first half of the second semifinal in the American Conference Tournament. The winner faces the #1 seed USF Bulls. who rolled to a win over Charlotte earlier in this gym. Gray can't get that one to fall. Another rebound to Barron.
A really good position rebound and getting back, boxing out. That was very fundamental. Good defense.
Green, bounce pass, and they count the basket.
Yeah, they're a good passing team, and I think that happens a lot when you have good three-point shooters. We talked about Tulsa having 6 guys shoot 36% or more from 3. You become a good passing team when you have space and you have shooters. You learn how to find them, and you also learn how to cut off the space you have.
7 assists on 12 made field goals for the Golden Hurricanes so far. They have a chance to make it a one-possession ball game. Green, no. Chase down, out of bounds. Who has it? And it's going to be Wichita State basketball.
I like at times Giles playing off the ball. I just like it best when he has the ball, he initiates the offense and gets it back. When he cycles through the paint, good things open up for Wichita State.
Here's Boyd. Green brings the double team. Good passing by the Shockers.
And Green's wrist feels like he's holding his wrist. And that hurt right
looks
away.
Like he might be going straight to the locker room.
Yeah, he went right off. Another guy that played significant minutes, really fought through the cramps late last night.
Trainer Emily Nelson taking a look, and let's see what caused it. And you could see him grabbing it right there, too. At first, I thought maybe he fell when he went out of bounds, but...
Well, the incident isn't obvious, but the reaction sure was.
So adding injury to insult. Wichita State up 7. Tulsa down not only by 7, but down their top scorer in David Green.
Yeah, he's really good for them because he's sized, but also can shoot it from 3. You just have to wonder at what point does Wichita State really ramp things up. I got to say, if I'm Tulsa, I feel good about this first half. Both teams kind of feeling out the game. And if you take out some tough shot making from Kenyon Giles, Tulsa could be up.
.30 seconds left in the half, 15 on the shot clock. Here's Riley. In and out. And we have a foul on the floor. And that's going to be a Wichita State foul.
Sometimes effort and motor gets you fouls. That's all that is. That is just out-efforting the guy that's trying to keep you off the glass, and it leads to a foul.
So TJ Williams whistled for his second foul. He'll step aside. And now Barnstable out and Lawal in for Eric Conkle's Golden Hurricane.
I said it before, I think Lawal was key for them last night. It's not just minutes, it's quality minutes.
3-second differential now between the shot clock and the game clock. Lawal on the curl. Got it! Right on cue.
Fresh legs working well off the ball to get a good look. And Wichita State has an answer.
It's last shot time for the Shockers. They're up by 4. Could they extend it? Gray off the window. Maybe not as he drew it up, but it counts nonetheless.
I think Kenyon Giles was waiting for the ball because he's the guy that should have it in a late clock situation. But Gray gets it to go either way. This was good stuff by Tulsa. They have multiple guys that can make threes. Might as well utilize them.
Without their top scorer.
Tulsa will be short-handed for the rest of the game. David Green is out for the remainder. He left the locker room at halftime with his left shoulder taped and iced after leaving the game with 51 minutes to play before the half. In his absence, Romand Dean is starting in his position, and Coach Conkle said we will have to have some guys who did not play as many minutes yesterday step up. This is going to need to be their time to shine when we are already depleted.
Yeah, good for him being on the bench. and being up off the bench, cheering his guys on. God bless these kids, man. You fight your tail off to be able to play at this level, and then the smallest thing can take you off the floor. I don't think people fully appreciate what goes in year-round, what goes in to be able to play the game at this level, only to be taken off the court with a fluke injury.
Yeah. After yesterday's 3 overtime win, his teammate, Tylen Riley, said, this is what we train in the summer for, and then to suffer an injury like that to your shoulder.
Yeah, and look, shoulders are tough, man. It doesn't take much to sublux a shoulder. And you can tell by the pain, he's grabbing his wrist. You feel it down the hand.
So Tyler Barron gonna have to step up, and he has 10 points for Barron in the game. Those first 2 coming in the second half from the free throw line. Wichita State leads by 4. You might have noticed we mentioned it graphically. Trailing at the half is not necessarily a bad thing for this Tulsa team. They're 6 and 3 went down at the half.
Well, their ability to make threes collectively as a team, that's what changes it.
Guarded 3 off the mark for Kenyon Giles. Gray gets it back.
Still Giles just floating around the perimeter.
And now Boyd resets. Here's Giles from near half court.
Just wouldn't bring that ball screen.
Giles up, not in. Fight for the loose ball, and it will be Tulsa basketball.
I just think you have a guy in Giles who has the ability to create space on his own. You bring a ball screen and you limit his options. I would always wave it off, if I was that good at least.
Is this the point where I'm supposed to say, you were that good, John?
Yeah, you usually seek out compliments by being self-deprecating.
Wide open, Barron for 3, you betcha!
Right. If you're gonna get a couple of those, Tulsa should feel pretty good. That's more space on the floor. That brings Will Berg defensively out more around the perimeter, should open the floor.
Tyler Barron's career high is 16. He has 13 in the biggest game of his career. Berg, double team, still got it up. And a foul is called.
Just space in the floor with the 5-man. We talk a lot about the shooters, 36% from 3, 6 guys on the floor. But if you have a big that can force Will Berg away from the basket, that could be a game changer here in the second. Now, if I'm Will Berg, I'm going to say, go ahead and make another one first.
Berg with 6 points and 6 rebounds in his own right. Now 7 and 6 for the 7-footer who cut his teeth in college basketball going up against Zach Edey in practice, former Boilerman.
Yeah, I don't know what you're cutting. I think you're getting your teeth smashed in every day there.
Nice touch, 66% on the season, but he looked good on those 2 free throws. Anybody's ball game still. 2 minutes into the second half. Barnstable off to the right. Berg grabs the rebound.
It's tough if you settle for bad shots if you're Tulsa. You don't have offensive rebounders in position as you're trying to bring the big away from the basket.
Here's Giles leaning in, giving it up. Great, nice look to Berg, and no whistle. Good defense by the Golden Hurricane. A chance to tie with a 3. And it's going to stay Golden Hurricane basketball with 19 on the shot clock.
It's just good stuff. Rotating to the basketball. Will Berg's in position. And some way or another, maybe he got himself too deep. With that size, you got to finish. So says the 6-foot guy who talks for a living.
Popola with the ball in his hands was the one credited with that block. There's a 3 that would have tied it.
Michael Gray with a box out.
Now Gray with the ball in his hands. Good hands by Ramad Dean, who, as Marilyn mentioned, is starting in the second half in place of David Green.
Yeah, but T on the ball side there, he's cutting where Michael Gray's driving. You've got to stay home, keep the lanes open. And if your defender converges, you're going to have an open 3.
Giles off the curl. Doesn't need any room at all.
I don't know what you do with that, but I do like the fact that he worked off the bounce, or worked off the ball, got himself a good look on the curl, handoff.
Barron tried the three again, ill-advised. Here's Boyd, another three for Karan Boyd.
It's a big swing there for Wichita State. The shot by Giles, it almost lights them up a little bit. Better defense and then a good drive and kick three.
It was a one-point game and now an 8-0 Wichita State spurt. And Barnstable got tripped in the paint.
Giles is just so tough. When he really works more, I would tell Giles, look, your fitness needs to be better than anybody else because you're going to have to work the hardest to get open. You're going to have a green light if you have an opportunity. Then just swing, swing. Not even a driving kick, just swing, swing. And Boyd gets the three.
At the line for Tulsa, number 14, Miles Barnstable.
So now Miles Barnstable at the line. He had a really quiet quarterfinal game up until
it mattered.
Overtime.
Until it really mattered and they needed one.
Hit a monster three, couple of free throws in the extra sessions.
I think David Green not being available is significant for Tulsa, though. Good size, ability to space the floor, good communicator on the defensive end.
Averaged 17 against the Shocks in the 2 games they played in the regular season. And now he's watching from the sideline, David Green. Here's Boyd trying another three. Looked good off his hand. Offensive rebound. And Will Berg gets hammered underneath. And that is, in a nutshell, what Wichita State does as well as any team in the country.
Well, if you're going to take tough shots, you've got to get on the offensive glass, and this is just size wins. It's pretty much all they can do is foul. It'll take a few mops on the floor to clean that one up.
Berg sitting on 8 points. He also has 8 rebounds today. And now Barron with 3 fouls will go to the bench for Eric Conkle. Tylen Riley like a coach on the floor.
He's been really good for them. He really has, both ends of the ball, and he's working defensively. He's also working off that ball screen to create opportunities. Touch.
Berg 3 for 4 from the free throw stripe. 9 points, 8 rebounds for 44 in white.
Schmeichel for Tulsa's back in the game. He's been good for them. Playing with great energy. Sets good screens, too. Just got to wait for it.
Now Giles checking Popola. 2 electric three-point shooters there. Riley. And after the miss, TJ Williams brings it up the left side. Good hands by Popola, knocking it out of bounds. It'll stay Shockers basketball, and we have immediate timeout to take. 15:29 to go. Wichita State looking to run away and hide in this second semifinal. USF or one of these 2 teams. 8 and 7 all time are the Shockers in American Conference tournament play, but they've never been to a title game, and USF is returned back after a visit in 2024, trying to win their first conference tournament championship in 36 years. But Tulsa looking to spoil that narrative.
I also think what these one-year teams, the reality of college basketball these days is proving, it's impossible to pick teams preseason. How do you know who they are? They haven't played yet.
Giles off the catch.
That's good action right out of the timeout. You run them along the baseline, tight curl. There's so many things you got to be worried about. If you're not going to switch out, Riley's got to be on his hip and run them off the line. Still doesn't solve the problem because Giles can create for himself.
Top 15 in the nation in three-pointers made. He's showing it here. There's Barnstable getting in the action.
That's tough. Michael Gray did a great job defensively. Even switched, got hit with multiple screens, great coverage. Contesting the ball, but it's just a better shot.
Giles 5 for 11 from behind the stripe. Boyd. Contested three for Karan Boyd. Doing his best Kenyon Giles impersonation.
That's a tough situation because you want to dig down on Berg, but you end up leaving Boyd for an open three. He got one to go in the far corner and then gets that one. Good
Michael
defense.
tried to muscle up against Will Berg, and Will Berg hits the deck, and it's going to be a foul on Schmeichel.
Will Berg takes the contact and then goes straight up, almost gets the block, but then gets back down in position to get the rebound. It's a big-time play. Might be a little jersey grab in there at some point. That thing looks stretched out.
You mean Berg's?
Berg's.
Yeah. What is that, a XXXL?
L. It's definitely long.
7'2", redshirt junior, Will Berg with the ball. Now Gray gets in the three-point act.
He's been really good, and I don't see anybody on the floor working as hard as Michael Gray on the defensive end.
8 three-pointers made by the Shocks. Their lead is 14, largest of the game. Barnstable, no, and a fight for the loose ball, and it was a fight between two Shockers.
Yeah, this is just big. Look, you want to dig down to get the ball out of Berg's hands, but then it gives Boyd an in-rhythm three. And Michael Gray Jr., he's been really good. I just think he has kind of been the unsung hero of this game for Wichita State. It's just that a rip of Kenyon Giles' shots looks way cooler on TV.
Well, you talk to the coaching staff at Wichita State, and they'll tell you to a man, if Michael Gray can get unlocked a little bit, it's a totally different team. Well, and we've seen that today.
I think Kenyon Giles in the tough shot taking starts to unlock Michael Gray. There's a dog in him that sees Kenyon Giles taking some tough shots and maybe not working as much off the ball. It's like, hey, we need a bucket. And I think Michael Gray's the guy that can get it for you.
Senior out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. You talk about plus minus.
Yep.
How your team does when you're on the floor versus off the floor. Michael Gray's a plus 20 right now. Will Berg going to work.
Sometimes your eyes don't deceive you. Like, he is the most important guy on the floor right now. He's not Kenyon Giles, and without Kenyon Giles, maybe he's a different dude, but I just think he's had a significant impact.
And Wichita State, without David Green contesting and scoring at the other end for Tulsa, you just feel like the Shockers are starting to impose their will.
Yes.
And wholesale substitutions now for Aaron Conkle. Tyler Barron checks back in. KJ Martin on the floor, and Ade Popola back as well. Two for two for Berg. He's in double digits with 10. Third Shocker with 10 or more points. Led, of course, by Kenyon Giles, who has a game-high 16, and the lead is 16 for Wichita State. Grigsby leaves it for Martin, and he gets fouled.
I think if you're Boyd and you're playing with a guy like Berg, you just have to be there and trust that Berg will clean it up around the rim. It's often when you're trailing that play, you pick up that foul, but you've got a shot blocker there. That should free you up, allow you to be more aggressive and at times chase.
Martin, a freshman from Tampa, Florida, hits the first one. Tampa, of course, going to be the site of next year's American Conference Championship.
I thought you were going to tell me the story of why it wasn't this year.
7 minutes gone by in the second half. Number 2 seed Wichita State in the driver's seat, up 15. Trying to advance to take on the USF Bulls.
create that space to even get that shot off. I don't think anybody understands how difficult it is to defend Kenyon Giles.
Popola lost the handle, turned it over. Now the Shockers looking to add to that 14-point lead. Giles, step back, three, yes sir!
There's not much you can do. I don't know what Barron's going to do about that. He drives you down to create space. So he turns into the body just to step back. That's just ridiculous. I might have made some tough shots in high school. I just never good enough.
The game with an apparent shoulder injury late in the first, and Kenyon Giles is doing Kenyon Giles things. 6 threes, 20 points on the game.
Kenyon Giles is as tough as it gets in terms of creating shot opportunities. And then when you add the fact that he can make a lot of them and that he's allowed to do it, good luck defending. That was close. That was almost a 10-second violation.
This is a Tulsa team that had to play through 3 overtimes yesterday to get past a rough and rugged North Texas team just to advance to this game. Ade Popolo played 51 minutes.
Yep.
David Green played 51, and Eric Conkle is asking a lot of these guys to try and rise up and come from 17 down now.
Well, that game last night was almost comically tough, right? You see multiple players pulling up with cramps, and you understand why.
What's the first sign of fatigue from a basketball player?
I think communication's the first sign to me. I don't think anybody else sees it, but when your communication's lacking because you're tired, it's because you're gasping for air, and you don't want to use your voice. The thing is, when you don't communicate, you get behind the play, and you start to chase. So save your legs and communicate. You asked me for first. There's a lot more.
Giles, top of the key. Off the mark. Okorafor grabs it. And an offensive rebound for Emmanuel Okorafor, who will go to the line when we return.
With the confidence that you can only hope for in life.
I mean, Kenyon Giles has the neon green light, you alluded to it earlier, against everybody. But against this Tulsa team, he sees something that he really likes. And he is not afraid to fire at will.
I mean, is he a volume guy?
Yes.
Is that okay? Yes.
Resoundingly for Paul Mills and company.
I mean, so many teams out there wonder who their guy is down the stretch. This is one team that doesn't have to ask that question.
Right. Every head coach says, we just need a dude.
Yeah, dude.
Kenyon Giles is a dude.
That dude. I still would like to see him do more off the bounce, off the ball.
And hey, let's give some credit to the rest of this Shockers offense. They're shooting 50% from 2 and 50% from 3. Blocked by Okorafor. Interior defense of the Shockers, another strength of theirs.
Kenyon Giles standing there is like, yo, my turn. And I don't mind it.
Ball in his hand, you almost know it's going to go up at some point. This time he passes off to Petit. And Barron, if he's called for the foul, he's gone for the day. Tyler Barron, who has had a whale of a ball game, 13 points, 6 rebounds, but he is now fouled out with 11 minutes to go.
Well, I don't think you can quantify, at least fully quantify, the value that Tyler Barron brings. I mean, life experience is one of them, but the energy, the effort, the fight, given what they went through last night, his energy overall, his communication, his enthusiasm to play the game, that hurts. Again, no David Green, out with the injury for the rest of the night.
So 2 of the 5 starters for Eric Conkle not available.
Oh,
you knew that was good before we even released it.
It's the setup. I'm starting to read him differently. It's the way he sets up. I'll know if he's making the shot or not.
7 threes for Kenyon Giles, one off his career high.
And you asked about fatigue. They can't create separation on this side of the ball. That's where Tulsa's starting to lack. They can't create separation off the bounce.
Riley.
And he's short. Yep, I mean, you're just starting to see it. You see it a little bit with communication, then you add a little bit of frustration to it. You see the fatigue is starting to weigh in.
Loose ball. And it's going to be Tulsa basketball.
All right, I'm just going to set you up. I'm going to toy with the fish like a shark in the water, and he just gets the shot he wants. He creates his own little rhythm, too. He knows it's coming. He sets you up. Little flyby there, and come and get some.
You know who he reminds me of? You remember Marquise Noel from Kansas State a few years ago?
So I had the Sweet 16, Elite 8 there at the Garden for Westwood 1. Marquise Noel went off against Michigan State, and then Dusty May at FAU beat Marquise Noel to go to the Final Four.
Right. Yeah, that was at the Garden.
That was a great.
Right.
Marquise Noel is New York guard.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, he is it. I think everybody says New York guard, but you can't really define it until you see it.
Noel, at least for me, is the one who coined that term, heart over height. He had a tattoo that said it. And Kenyon Giles embodies that same ethos.
It's Josh Hubbard at Mississippi State, too. He's another one.
And really what it means, and I don't say this to damn you with faint praise, you were a relatively undersized guard when you played at Penn State and UCLA, and you play with a chip on your shoulder all the time because you have to.
If you understand what you're not, you're able to overcome it. And sometimes it's with effort, sometimes it's learning how to play the game in a way that you're able to maximize your own abilities and potential on the floor. Kenyon Giles is doing the same thing. Now, I think he's got more in him. If he's playing around 4 guys who can really light it up and play off of him, he doesn't have to do as much. I understand this is his role on the team. If he gets room, look out. A wholesale change with one guy staying on the floor. Guess who?
Yeah, number 1 stays on the floor, but Paul Mills probably wisely resting some of his players with 9:23 to go. The game is relatively well in hand, 19-point lead.
You can rest through rotations, and I think that's what he's doing. He's giving guys a good break, but they're not done for the night.
Again, the question, rest versus rust, when these top seeds get multiple days off because of their high seed or low seed, if you will.
Well, I think you're also fully aware of the team you're playing against. Again, we said 6 guys shoot 36% from 3. That's part of their identity. They can get back in a game quickly, so you can't let up.
Kenyon Giles said there's no way that we will be rusty. We are mentally more locked in than I think we've been all season long. Coming into this one as he hits another one, guys.
Oh, no. Now he's
25.
So I see Coach Brian Hodson behind the scores table, and you just wonder, so what are you thinking? What are you going to do about that? I'm sure he's got some firepower that is the answer, but I think the question of stopping him is simply you play pro defense. Make him take the toughest shot possible, and some way or another, you're going to have to live with the outcome. The question is, can you outscore him?
These two teams, Wichita State and USF, played twice this season. They split the series. First game, Wichita State won on the road at Tampa, and that game went to overtime.
And that was coming off of a game you and I had just done at FAU where they got blown out. And then I see them do that to USF. It was pretty remarkable, and it started that uptick in their season where it's almost as if they believed how good they could actually be.
Here's Giles. Bit of a hostage dribble on Riley. And the tough 2 falls. His third 2-point field goal of the game. 27 now for Kenyon Giles.
He's just toying with his prey.
And Giles chases down the loose ball. If you wonder about fatigue for Kenyon Giles, don't. He averages 36 minutes a game. And we'll take a timeout. There's Brian Hodgson, a look of concern on his face, and rightly so. It looks like he's going to be facing this in the title game.
There's no one thing or another you can do. Maybe some junk defense, but ultimately it's probably the pace he wants to put on the game that could slow Kenyon Giles down. But when he gets the ball, teams did not win that year. That's as good a team I've seen in a long time. And this guy, Brian Hodgson, what a job he's done in year one. And it's not just about getting the best talent. It's about getting the right talent.
Yeah, stand by. He's texting me right now. What? Oh, I didn't have a chance to read the text that Brian Hodgson was just sending. Sorry about that.
You're not in the Rolodex.
What a job he's done. 2 years ago, obviously, a championship with Arkansas State. Came over, and he is the first to say, I am carrying the torch for what Amir Abdur-Rahim started 2 years prior when they won the regular season championship in 2024.
Well, I think part of that torch is also being a good man. I think that matters more today than ever before, given the fact that you don't have a lot of time with guys, so your impact has to be great in a short period of time.
A lot of USF stories to tell. You'll hear those tomorrow in the championship game, 3:15 Eastern time. And the question is, who will the Bulls face in that championship game? As of right now, it looks like it could be the 2 seed Wichita State Shockers, up 16 with coming up on 6 minutes to go.
That's tough. I mean, look, I just think the legs are definitely fading for Tulsa. And shot makers, shot takers, this is a Tulsa team, makes a lot of threes. Start to see shots come up short. You understand that fatigue is setting in.
Not only that, but they're doing it without David Green, their leading scorer, left in the first half with an shoulder injury, and without their other starting big man, Tyler Barron, who fouled out earlier in the second half.
I also think there are times when coaches talk about fatigue, and it sounds like an excuse. Because anything coaches say when they don't win sounds like an excuse, and I don't think that's entirely fair, but that's just reality. When we say it, it's more like a reason. We've seen these teams. We watch them walk in. We watch them warm up. We called that game, and there's a lot of things you see and feel when you're calling a game, and you knew that last night was going to have an impact on today.
Eric Conkle said earlier that one of the reasons that fatigue would impact his team, he felt in the second half, was because of how important depth has been to this program all season long. Not just yesterday, but he said, we really like to use our depth and need to.
Well, this is a Tulsa team that has 9 players who have played in all 31 games. They're going to rely on them down the stretch. Hero Price ACC Tournament Championship game. Duke squaring off against Virginia. Chalk in both of those conference tournaments, 1 versus 2. And as of right now, it looks like the American Conference will have 1 versus 2, but Tulsa is chipping away, chopping wood, whatever you want to call it. Only down 13 with 5:20 to go, and they'll have a chance to cut it to maybe 10 with the 3.
Yeah, if you're Wichita State, you just want to limit options or opportunities for Tulsa to cut into it. Make them work to get open looks. They've really struggled shooting the basketball. It's a team that shoots it really well from 3.
And Riley goes down hard. And foul's going to be on Karan Boyd, it looks like. No, instead it's on TJ Williams. That's the 3rd on Williams.
I just think there are points in a game where you just say, guys, let's not pressure, let's not apply too much physicality, let's play strong base defense. This is a good time for it.
Riley will trigger the inbounds under their own basket. And Barnstable stepped on the sideline. Good call, partner.
Saw the last step where he tried to turn into the shot. You're gonna see deep corner, last step, there it is. Did Gray get hit at all?
Had some good sportsmanship there between those two.
I don't think he did, but the way he fell back.
You like to call that gamesmanship.
I like to call that European soccer.
Boyd.
Smart. Good play by Boyd. Why not?
Ray left all alone. And the rebound to Martin. Still a puncher's chance for the Golden Hurricane, but not when you turn the ball over.
I would be careful from Wichita State not allowing fatigue to affect their decision-making. Don't get lackadaisical. There's also a part of me that's just simply a basketball fan, particularly an offensive basketball fan, that just wants to see what Giles can do. And I think sometimes it's okay to be a fan. He's one of the best players in the country with the ball in his hands.
Riley trying to stay attached. 4 on the timer. Williams, 2 feet in the paint, can't get it to go.
You've got to be able to develop that right hand, go up, just protect the basketball.
Barnstable. Tough 3 from Miles Barnstable.
Just wondering if getting one of those to go and you cut it to a 10-point game, you're going to stop here, and it feels different. If you get a stop and you get a made basket, you feel far less tired than you are right now. I think that's something you got to be telling yourselves. You'll feel a lot better with a stop and a make.
Giles, 3. Off to the right this time. Good effort by Karan Boyd to get a fresh 20. And time is of the essence. 3:37 to go. Giles, off to the right again. Another offensive rebound. This is what the Shockers do.
Yeah, that's just tough. You're outmatched, you're outsized. Barron's out, he's got the 5 fouls. David Green's out with the injury. So there's so much you can do. Good steal.
Barnstable, pick the pocket. Lawal get fouled, and he'll go to the line. And everyone on the Tulsa bench is on their feet.
This is just feels like a different game. Barnstable with the tough 3 to cut it to 10. You say silly things as an analyst like, well, if you cut it to 10 before the under 4 timeout, it's a different game. No, it actually feels that way. And I think coming out of this timeout, they're going to feel a little less fatigued.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by, well, Tulsa's in the midst of a 6-0 run. Shockers have gone 0 for their last 6. Maryland, you got more.
That run has re-energized Tulsa. During the timeout, Eric Conkle leaned into his players who are active now, and he said, March Madness, baby, March Madness. I told you guys we were going to get right back in this. Then he turned to his guard, Tylen Riley, and said, don't let up on Giles. I do not want him running free. Stay home there. Over the top, Tyler Barron, who's fouled out, yelled loudly, gang rebound. We can stay in this.
All right, no quit in the Golden Hurricane. We knew that coming in.
I think there's new life. I think the 3 from Barnstable really got them big. Those 2 misses are huge, though. You want to cut it down to 8. You got to build on the energy you create. A stop here would do wonders.
And you can tell Wichita State, even with Kenyon Giles, content to run as much clock off as they can. Now that's out of bounds.
You've got 2 timeouts. Is this one you're going to think about challenging? I thought initially it went off his leg.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it.
You would have lost your challenge and a timeout, John.
I would have checked the iPad first. Or the poor assistant whose job it is to get that right. The job no one wants.
So with 2.9 on the shot clock.
Tulsa has called a 30-second timeout to challenge the ruling.
Couldn't quite hear Vlad on that referee relay.
Mike presence with the referees is going to be a thing to work on. I do not think it went off the leg.
I do not think so either. And I think this review should take seconds and not minutes.
Yeah, I like when they're quick. I would love it if they just threw an extra official over there as the review official and did it really quickly.
And in a way, this is almost like a use it or lose it challenge.
Yeah, I don't
for
mind
Kunkel.
it. It's another opportunity to give your guys a break and say, let's try to find a way to play this game in short spurts.
Right.
Give me everything you got. Play fearlessly. If you get a good look, take it. Don't care who it is.
What do you think Paul Mills is telling his troop?
Well, I think you got to be solid. You got to be strong. You have to understand that this is a Tulsa team. They're going to run and jump. They're going to double. Anytime they have a chance to get a body on you, they're going to fight. You need to be strong with everything you do, and this is case in point. You bring that ball back over to get your steps up. I mean, the more you look at it, the more you can send it the other way, but I don't think it's enough to overturn anything.
Right. Clear and concisive is usually the general rule, and the initial call was that it was going to be Wichita State basketball.
I don't think it's enough to overturn anything. But again, the more you look at something in slow-mo, it's almost as if your brain convinces you it could go the other way.
Well, for those of you who are tuning into March basketball and aren't familiar, this is new this
After
year.
review, the call stands. Tulsa will be charged a 30-second timeout. We have no more challenges remaining for the game.
Good.
So coaches have a challenge in their back pocket. If they win the challenge, they retain it, and they don't lose a timeout. If they lose, like Eric Kunkel did, he loses his ability to challenge any other call in the half, and they lose the timeout.
And I think it's much improved from what we had, which was, hey, go look at it, go look at it. Coaches kind of make a suggestion. In a way, it controls the game.
Williams throws that one up. Saved by Popola, out of bounds, but it's going to be Wichita State basketball.
You got 20 seconds here. You should use most of it, and I've got to think Kenyon Giles is going to be involved towards the end of the possession.
And Popola was in bounds when he threw that ball back on the court, but the ball went out of bounds. That's why it's Wichita State basketball.
I think I always liked the game better when officials didn't listen to players. Better flow.
Did you chatter a lot when you were on the floor?
I did.
I'm shocked at that.
It was different, though. I just wanted to know what they were thinking. Work my way around the rules that they're going to apply.
4 to shoot. Williams. And he'll go to the line.
Reminds me a little of what we saw with North Texas, and I'd like to give them a little love, too. They were a part of that 3 overtime contest against Tulsa, and I would think that Wichita State might want to give North Texas a little love for what they put Tulsa through. That is a tough, tough team. Another coach, Daniel Robinson, who's really good, up-and-comer.
10 now for TJ Williams.
And another really good man. I can't say that enough, how important that is when you're building something to have good men representing these young men as they're growing, even if it's only for a year.
In a roundabout way, reminds me of what happened with the SEC a couple of years ago. They said, we want to invest in basketball.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you saw some really terrific coaches come into that league. Last year, 14 teams in the NCAA tournament. I know it's apples and oranges, but Tim Pernetti and company have made an investment in basketball, and they've got some outstanding coaches in this league.
Apples and oranges is kind of like Gala and Honeycrisp. One is just spending a little bit more money to have. But the reality is here, you have guys that are building programs and instilling these programs with an identity. I think it's an identity that you can maintain through coaches and players. But there's also a level there's a level of expectation in terms of what you're capable of and what you're actually going to do for these programs. And they've all delivered.
While we're handing out flowers, John, let's do that to the supporting cast that Kenyon Giles plays with. I mean, everyone knows that he is going to be ball dominant. But now TJ Williams is in double digits. Will Berg in double digits. Karan Boyd has 9 points.
Yeah, I think it takes a special player to let a star shine. And if you support it, who knows where you could go. If you don't, you probably limit yourself. Good movement from Will Berg, but the reason why that's open, why there's 3 dudes beyond the 3-point line worried about what Kenyon Giles is going to do.
Right.
Nobody wants to be a part of a highlight. And it's really hard to avoid it if you're playing against Kenyon Giles, but he still continues to manipulate. I said he plays with gravity. He's like Jupiter, and the defense is a bunch of moons.
And Gray now, another player from the Shockers in double digits. After Kenyon Giles, they have 7 players who average 6 or more points per game and 5 who average 4+ rebounds per game.
I think Michael Gray, if you take him off the floor, they're not second in the conference. He's that important to what they do.
And that's an offensive foul. We're going the other way. 1:15 to go. A 13-point lead and the ball for the Wichita State Shockers.
They're going to clean this up. They do want to keep cleaning up screening, and I like it. I've said it before, I like rules that favor the offense. No reason to attack too soon, but don't walk into a double. Keep the ball moving.
Boyd tries for 3. Got it. Another Shocker in double digits.
He's been really good today, too. That is 3rd or 4th 3 on the night.
That's his 4th. 5 Wichita State players in double digits. Kenyon Giles leading everybody, as usual, with 27.
I just think if I walk into the season knowing I'm playing with Kenyon Giles, all I'm doing is working on making open shots, because that's something you're going to get. And it's not like Kenyon Giles is an incredible creator for others. He's really going to get his buckets. Kenyon Giles has 0 assists on the night. Not really knocking him. It's not what he does. He's a scorer. And Michael Gray's got 6.
And missed free throws certainly don't help Tulsa's cause. Popola.
All right.
That's what he does, but only 6 points today for Ade Popola. 38.5 to go. That's all that stands between Wichita State and a spot in the conference finals for the first time since 2018.
Well, let's give Tulsa some love. Coach Conkle's done a terrific job turning this program around, but building a team that is fun to watch. I can't say enough about how important that is. It's good for basketball, it's good for fans, get people engaged, but it's also good for recruiting. How you play is your best recruiter. If you're trying to bring in talented guys and you want to keep the game in the 50s, good luck, right? You might get a tough guy, but you're not going to get a lethal score. You're not going to get multiple players that can shoot 35+% from 3. The way you play will bring in better players. I think the way this Tulsa team played this year, where they look to score, they light it up from the perimeter, they open up the floor. It's a fun brand of basketball that's going to bring anybody in. The question is, are you good enough to play for them? Everybody says they want to be a shooter. I think really what they're saying is, I want to take shots. No, are you a shooter? That's a mindset thing. That's a skill and repetition thing. You put the time and the effort in to be able to make shots. That's the ultimate question. I like the fact that he plays with depth. It allows them to play with a good pace.
And on the other side of things, Paul Mills looking to take the Shockers to their first American Conference title game appearance. 2 years ago, they were a 12 seed. Last year, they were an 8 seed. This year, once again, exceeding expectations.
Yep.
That's what you look for in a championship caliber head coach. And the home run pass. Trey Kindle almost lost the handle on that one. Instead, he comes back out. The ball is in the right man's hands, but he turns it over, and Will Byrne picks it up and slams it home.
That little tip pass from Kenyon Giles. I'd give him an assist for that. They did.
And it's academic at this point. Martin slow to get up, 10 on the clock, and number 1 with the ball in his hands. Appropriate for the Wichita State Shockers, who on the shoulders of the smallest player on the floor, Kenyon Giles, advance to their first American Conference championship game. 81-68, the Shockers, the number 2 seed, will take on the number 1 team in this conference, and that's the USF Bulls.
Interesting matchup ahead. I know Coach Hodson was on the sideline watching this one. Obviously,